Hello, a warm welcome here today to Conny Decorating, and of course with heart, and with a lot of heart, Laura. Exactly. And this is our wreath. Wreath mood, autumn mood, wreath mood. Exactly. In autumn we have absolute wreath mood, and we make wreaths endlessly. And this is still my upcycling idea from a wreath from a year ago at Christmas, with the branches, a bit of heather, a bit of moss, and that's really it, my dears. And if you want to know how this topic works, stay tuned, because we will show you now. And the things we need today for our wreath, so autumn vibes, wreath vibes. And what do we need? We need heather here in the North Heath, as you know. And I just came back from Seville with Carmen, and I'm back to work. And look at this. I think they are so beautiful with this violet, slightly rose, dark rose and green tones. I thought, no, I need to make another wreath. And then I remembered that last year, maybe you can recall, I made this wreath with all those branches. And it is already relatively old now. It is a year old and quite rotten, and I would like to upcycle that. As I said, you can use any branches. I really have different thicknesses here. I even took some old magnolia branches, and the first ones with the lichen covered branches are also beautiful. As I mentioned, I will take this one out right now. Then I have our sisal string lights here again. I think it fits quite well with these very natural rustic elements. Then I have a few pine cones here. Exactly, what else do I have? I still have a bit of moss. And what I have is that before we went on vacation, I made this wreath with the corn leaves, very fresh. Someone had asked me, I believe from England, how I dry it, and it dries really well. So they were all very green. And now I find it much more harmonious, especially here with the hay that I had, and the dried little rose hips, the fruiting bodies. Totally optimal. This wreath lasts super long and looks so beautiful. And I had saved a bit of moss and the leftovers that I didn't use in my bag, where I always keep my things. And I think maybe we can even use those for decoration. And I think that's it. I have a bit of wire and a straw goblet. And I would say, let's get started. Now I will start as always. I will cut off the little branches from the heather here. And this is a bud heather, and I have to be honest, we don't have it in our front yard at all. I will practically use them as tufts in our front yard, which also looks wonderful in winter. And they will find a place here with us. So now I have a few pine cones, and I actually think that's pretty cool. So white pine cones, because I still have this cotton here. I have a strand of cotton here, and I think I would like to incorporate it into this. I find that nature and white make it really beautiful. Yes, I would just say that it adds a bit of atmosphere, and perhaps already hints at late autumn, almost into winter, but just very lightly. And I will just take these out now. I will simply take the corn leaves that we have here, and I just want to lay them around to completely cover my straw base. And then I will also bring in my binding wire right after. And so we have simply, yes, just wonderfully covered that. The strand can definitely stay on. They're closing in, and I don't want to miss a shot. 1,000. I really like this a lot. We chat, and I just take the old corn leaves here, wrap them around, and I'm even happier because the bag is empty. And I actually have all the corn leaves that we picked here back then. And for the other wreath, we have really used them up now. And this is, of course, a great filling material, but also a decorative material. I really like it here with the brown and green tones. This goes even more into autumn and fits perfectly. Really, everything is used up, and we can continue. I have my heather here, which we pre-cut, and now I will take a small bouquet again. And I still have the wire attached. and I will just place it here. Of course, you can use anything that dries beautifully, or maybe even some dried flowers you still have, lavender or whatever, baby's breath. And I'm going to attach this now, wrapping the wire around here once, and then I have my first piece, which I just took off the old wreath, and I will lay it across to the other side and twist it around again. What you can still do now is take the heather again, because the wreath is relatively thick. Here I'll also take some old moss out. And with that, you can of course wonderfully fill the sides here again, or even inside. And I will also place that here. Then I take the heather again and place it sideways. I think I will also add a bit of moss inside to fill it. Look, Laura had the perfect idea, because when I'm bent over like this, I constantly have lower back pain. Now she just brought me a box, and that's of course perfect. So even when you are binding your wreath, either take your time to enjoy it comfortably, or really pay attention while you stand. Yes, this is really a super simple and absolutely valuable idea. And she is just going now, because I think I have just set this up here, but the cones seem a bit too large, especially here with the delicate heather. And we have the larch tree here, and Laura is going again, although that's quite sweet. Maybe we could mix it, but we don't have that many of them right now. And Laura is getting some larch cones. Wow, I think this will be my favorite wreath. Mom, this is your favorite, you said, right? Yes, I also think it's really beautiful. I really love these three colors. Well, you can't see much of the corn leaf anymore, but you can incorporate it however you like. I think it looks quite cute now that it peeks out a bit. Well, there isn't much left here. One could also split it a bit more, saying, okay, here, a few small corn leaves are still showing. I find that totally charming as well, but it's a great filler. And yes, I would say we don't need much more. We're just going to walk around here a few more times. Once wrapped around, I now take the wire, the wrapping wire, and go around my branch here a few times. You can secure it like this, and then we pull it tight here. Then I remove the wire, and we already have the wreath finished. And I think it's really cool that if you look at it from the side, you can still see the corn leaves, but here I have a bit more moss, and this really is a very cool base. Once from the back and once from the front. So Laura was out and got us some larch cones, and they are still here on the little branch. That is of course wonderful. And here I have clamps or patent clamps, and you can also use a binding or a wire and simply bend it yourself. That's exactly what I mean by that. It is of course quite beautiful and fits perfectly when they are still on the branch. And I can absolutely and wonderfully secure it safely in between here. Now. The journey took a completely different direction again, namely a very different one, but yes, white feels a bit too wintry for me. I think it's really great how natural it looks. The string lights always fit, and they go well with this, yes, with this jute or rope. It's actually a really cool combination. And now I take the string of lights and will first securely attach the lower part here by using a staple, since I don't just want to wrap it around, but really want it to be a bit more natural and snake-like. I will also use the staples or the wire that you have to help me attach it to the wreath again. So, Laura, do you like it, right? Awesome. Well, not that I would take it with me. No problem at all. Very, very gladly. So then I don't have to worry about whether I use it as a lantern, as a table decoration, or as a door wreath. Then Laura can just take it with her. And that's wonderful too. And dear ones, we certainly hope that we were able to inspire you today. We would be super happy about a thumbs up, and we always welcome every comment, including criticism and perhaps also small wishes about what we can do for and with you for the autumn and winter. So, dear ones, feel free to follow us on Pinterest, Facebook and Instagram. Especially on Instagram and Facebook, there are always little posts and stories. We would be very happy about that. 2001, feel very much hugged, stay healthy. We look forward to decorating with and for you again in the coming days. I believe I have repeated myself now, but it doesn't matter. Until then, your Conny and your Laura. Exactly until then, bye. I can feel the blood rush through my veins. 1,000, you know. Somewhere in the distance, the sun's coming up. Everything is blurry. The trees are laughing by my side. My side, far ahead. The horizon never sees you so close. The sky is red when I